Joining us now with more. It's just heartbreaking. Fox News contributors Joey Jones and Joe Concha, two men you know and trust very much. Joey, let me start with you. You've obviously been in the arena and understand, the nature of what the battles are and what the sacrifice has been. Now that you are here at home, you see this kind of almost, it's like a Twilight Zone, a bizarre response, and as though they were on a different planet. That John Kirby, the spokesman for some national security at the White House, said there was no chaos. And they're proud of what happened, Joey Jones. They're proud of it. What do you make of this?
Yeah, 12 pages. I had to spend twice that to put in a report for every single IED I took apart in Afghanistan. I had to put more detail in something that took 5 minutes of my time sometimes, and I did perfectly. Then they put in explaining how 13 service members, 170 Afghans from one bombing, not to mention the 10 civilians they killed themselves out of rushing to look tough after they already shown that they weren't. I've got a phone full of text messages from people working in the Pentagon, still in the military, and those that got out, saying they couldn't believe this report. They couldn't believe in this report that the administration tried to say that they were left with no plans and didn't know what to do and just had to figure it out, and that those contingencies were there months in advance. The idea that the Trump administration just left them high and dry, man, I tell you what does Trump get to say about Obama? And who was Obama's VP? Who was VP when I was in Afghanistan getting blown up in July or August, so that President Obama and his VP could tell the world, oh, we're going to pull out and end this war, 12 years ago? This is so insulting in so many ways. But I can't get mad at President Biden because he's too much of a coward to answer the call. He's too much of a coward to stand behind his own administration's report. Instead, I have Admiral John Kirby standing in front of a podium arguing with our own Peter Doocy of how proud he is from his perch because he didn't see any chaos. I talked to a Marine just a few minutes ago that was there that day, that started an organization to help those that were there that day because it was a very traumatic week. And John Kirby says he didn't see chaos, that he's proud of it. I'm proud of individuals, but for that operation, I hang my head in shame. I fought that war 10 years ago, and this is not why.
See, that is very moving. Thank you, Joey. I mean, the perspective here, this is what Americans wonder about. Joe Concha is, and this is classic gaslighting. Americans hear that phrase a lot. It is the attempt to psychologically manipulate people to not trust their own perception or their own memories. So we see, thank goodness for television and phone videos, because we can see and we remember this, Joe, what was going on. And the media, they were outraged at the start when all of this was unfolding. You heard Margaret Brennan's piece from CBS News. Other news outlets are also perplexed and shocked. Again, obviously Fox. I mean, we've been bringing the truth of this matter to everyone from the start. Joe, what do you think the media? Are they going to continue to look at this, or is this already dropping off of the media's point of view here?
Kudos to CBS, Margaret Brennan, that report. I would hope that NBC, ABC, CNN, MSNBC would follow. I don't have a lot of faith that that would happen in this situation. And kudos to you, Joey, because, we've talked many times in green rooms, and the fact that you lost your legs in Afghanistan, and the fact that you see this report and you see them try to gaslight the American public, it is an insult completely and totally. And this president, this administration, Tammy, Joey, sits on a throne of lies. Joe Biden has blamed Trump for high inflation, said it was this high when he took office in 2021. Inflation was at 1.4%. It's now 4 times higher. But somehow that's Trump's fault. Biden said that MAGA Republicans they wanted to fund the police. They're to blame for skyrocketing crime in blue cities across the country. That's about the best unintentional comedy out there, except for, Joe Biden also blames Donald Trump for the border crisis. It's amazing. And now you have Biden blaming Trump for the botched and deadly Afghanistan withdrawal that left 13 U.S. service members dead. What an insult to those families. They act like they were powerless to renegotiate with the Taliban. Biden undid every Trump policy upon taking office. So why not this deal? That's the question. The good news here is that nobody that's at least sane and sober, at least, is buying this argument. And we should have pushback, not just from Fox, CBS, but from every news organization and all of social media saying, do not do this to those service members that died there because you are insulting our intelligence, Tammy.
That is, Joey, that becomes really the issue. It's insulting on the face with this particular event that changed America and changed American lives directly. But if they're willing to lie about something that we personally know is a lie, that we witnessed, that people experienced, what else do you think it says about them? What else are they lying about that we don't have videotape to show us? Are you concerned about what this does to the morale of the American people, the morale of our military, and even our ability to recruit the military now as all of our branches are behind in their military goals?
Would you sign your life away to a commander-in-chief that in his own report, after the death of 13 service members, calls it manageable risk? That's what they called it before, and then that's what they called it immediately after. They learned nothing from those 13 being killed at Abbey Gate. I want to say one thing real quick, Tammy. Every day of my life in Afghanistan, my job was to walk down on bombs and hope that I did enough right that if anybody got killed, it was just me and nobody else. On August 6, 2010, I made enough of a mistake that it took my legs, but most importantly, it took Corporal Daniel Greer's life, who was there hoping and wishing that I would do my job at the best of my ability. And I didn't come back giving you 1,000,001 excuses on why that happened. I didn't say, well, the Taliban put the bomb on the ground. Well, I had sun in my eyes. Well, I didn't know. I didn't see. What I tell you every single day is I take accountability for his life. I made a mistake. Even to this day, I don't know what that mistake was, but I made it, and it took his life. And I take accountability for it. Every time I wake up, I don't worry about my legs. I worry about Daniel's life. All we want from this commander-in-chief and all the lackeys that work under him is to take accountability and ask for forgiveness from those families and this country for doing an operation so ill-planned, so ill-conceived, that we could sit at home and call the next ball and strike. Call the men and women that would die, that we saw happen in front of us, and call it something other than a manageable risk that you're proud.
That they're proud. They were proud of that. Well, Joey, God bless you. God bless your compatriots. And Joe Concha, thank you so much also for being on the front lines here. Gentlemen, thank you. And happy Good Friday as we all remain grateful here for this country.